What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the Ninja Guide / tutorial for Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood patch 4.06. Now, if you're like me at first, looking up jobs as you're getting into Final Fantasy XIV, you might have said to yourself, wait, Ninja, it's a little too complicated. But relax, I got you covered. We're going to go through the job from the basics to the advanced to help you better understand the character as a whole. So, you want to see what makes the Ninja so dope? Let's check it out. Now, Ninja is a typical easy to play but hard to master, but in a different way than most people believe. Ninja's difficulty comes not from the amount of buttons or cooldowns to manage, but from your ability to react to each situation. Let me explain. Alright, we'll start at the very beginning. Your level 1 ability you learn as a rogue, Spinning Edge. Now, this is the very first ability you learn for your combo, which then goes into Gush Slash, which is your second ability. Now, from here is where your situation matters. Depending on what your current situation is what what you're going to do. You have one option, Aeolian Edge, which is the all-out damage. Rear combo potency is increased when done from the rear to 340. You do this when none of your buffs need to be refreshed or debuffs need to be refreshed at the same time. Understand what I'm saying? Very next one, you have Shadow Fang. Shadow Fang is your level 38 combo ender, which is typically used at the very beginning or close to the beginning because it applies a damage over time and a debuff that reduces target slashing resistance by 10%. This is very important to keep up. Very important to keep up. Now, the very next one is the Armor Crush. Now, Armor Crush is nice. It's got a nice damage potency. It also has an extra combo potency when done from the flank, which is basically just outside the backs of the enemy. Now, the main function of this ability is not necessarily to do damage, but to extend your Huton duration by 30 seconds, which is a buff we're talking about in a little bit. Now on to Ninja's unique ability called Mundra, and it allows him to cast abilities called Ninjutsu. Now you get 10 Chi Gen at level 30, 35, and 45 respectively. And depending on which sequence you hit is what ninjutsu you're gonna get. Now, you have all types of ninjutsu you can do. You have one called Fuma Shuriken, which is a single target damage spell. It's really nice. It looks cool as shit. Now, going to the next one, you have Katone. Katone is your AoE ninjutsu, which is really effective when you have multiple targets in front of you. I love using this one. Raiton. Raiton is a single target magic damage ability with a potency of 360. This is the one you will use a lot. It does more damage than Fuma, but has less range to Fuma. So according to however you like to play or whatever you want to do, if you're not a mid-maxer, go ahead and do Fuma because it looks cooler, but Raiton will get you more damage. Now, Huton, which is a weird, I want to call it PvP ability. It basically shoots icicles from underneath your target, and it binds them for 15 seconds, but once you hit them, it breaks. This is why I like to call it a PvP ability. It's more like trying to get away kind of thing. Now, into the big three skills. You have Huton, or Huton, I have a hard time pronouncing that one. Now, this is the one that it's a buff, and it reduces your weapon skill recast time and auto attack delay by 15%, and it lasts 70 seconds. Now, you need to keep this up at all times for your level 70 job, or your Stormblood job gauge. You need to keep this up. It increases your damage tremendously along with your Ninki gauge. Now, going to the next one, you have Duton. Duton is a very controversial skill. I hear people say don't use it. I hear some people say use it. Now, this is basically a bigger version of Katone, but over time. It drops down a big circle and it does mediocre damage. A lot of people say do it with three or four more targets and make sure they're strong enough to where they can last the whole duration. I use it when there's a big mob, maybe 4 or 5. 4 is the minimum. I drop this down. It does damage, and it lasts 24 seconds. just over the recast time for your actual Mundra and Ninjutsu itself. Now Sweet Tone. Sweet Tone is probably the one ability you will learn first. Okay, it delivers a water attack damage, a potency of 180, but grants Sweet Tone. What a lot of beginner ninjas might not realize, this allows you to do skills that require hide. Now, hide is a nice little ability that makes you hidden, and when you're hidden, you can do this one skill called Trick Attack, and Trick Attack in turn places a debuff on the target that increases its vulnerability by 10%. This is huge. This is why Ninja is one in every raid group, because every 60 seconds your boss will be taking 10% more damage from all sources. Now basically every 60 seconds what you're going to do is make sure you reapply Sweet Tone. Now you Sweet Tone into Trick Attack. This will increase your damage and everyone else's damage, so this is a must. Alright guys, on to the Stormblood abilities. At level 62 you unlock the Ninki gauge, which slowly builds inside the ninja with each auto attack landed and can be used to execute special ninjutsu such as Hellfrog Medium, unlocked at 62, Bhavacakra, which is unlocked at level 68, and Tenchi Jin, which is unlocked at level 70. So your Ninki gauge is filled upon auto attack. This is why I stress the importance of keeping Hutone up at all times. Okay, so Hellfrog Medium. It delivers a fire damage with a potency of 400 to the target and all enemies near it, and it costs 80 Ninki to cast. Now this ability is great. I use it every time there's 2 or more targets. Use it. It does some nice damage, and along with Katon you get some nice AoE damage. Next, Bhavacakra. Now this is by far probably the most damaging ability the ninja has. Deals unaspected damage to a potency of 600 at the cost of 80 Ninki. Now I like to save this while the enemy is invulnerable, does a lot more damage, but try to use this as much as you can. Going into the third ability. Okay, now this is the most confusing ability the ninja has. Tenchi Jin. Resets ninjutsu recast timer twice, reduces ninjutsu recast time by 1 second, and eliminates the required Mundra consumption for ninjutsu execution. Also doubles the ninjutsu potency. The asterisk here is only 1 Mundra and ninjutsu available while active. The same ninjutsu cannot be executed twice. Ninjutsu recast timer will begin on cooldown upon fading. Effect ends upon moving. So put in layman's terms, you can cast 3 ninjutsu abilities in a 10-second window. But you can only use the same Mundra once, meaning you have to end with a 3 Mundra ninjutsu. Hutone, Dutone, or Sweet Tone. So looking at the last 3 ninjutsu I mentioned, Hutone will not be used simply because your Hutone will already be up. So your options are Dutone or Sweet Tone. Looking at Dutone, you have 2 different options. You can do Ten for Fuma, then Jin for Hutone, then Chi for Dutone. Now since Hutone is there, I tend not to use that one. Or you can do Jin for Fuma, then Ten for Katon, and then Chi for Dutone, which is a nice AoE combo. Now looking at Sweet Tone, you have 2 different options as well. You have Ten for Fuma, then Chi for Right Tone, then Jin for Sweet Tone. Or Chi for Fuma, Ten for Katon, and then Jin for Sweet Tone. This is the one people tend to use because it leads into their Trick Attack, which is nice and helps you avoid global cooldown clipping. But at the end of the day, guys, do what you feel comfortable with, do what you enjoy. But hopefully I made it easier to understand Ten Chi Jin because it can confuse a lot of people. Alright guys, we have Dream Within a Dream. It is a weapon skill with a 60-second recast timer, and it delivers a 3-fold attack with each hit with a potency of 150. Now I like using this while the boss is in invulnerability, and I weave this into my actual combo, my opener. Next we have Hide, which is basically camouflage or stealth from any other MMO you've played. But the real purpose of this ability is it resets your Mundra recast time. So you cast Hutone to get your buff going before a boss, and you pop Hide to reset your cooldown to have your opener ready to go. Next we have Kasaa Suit, which resets a ninjutsu recast timer while ensuring the critical damage for your next ninjutsu action. This is really nice. You can use this for Raiton, which will do really nice damage. Up next, Trick Attack. Delivers an attack with potency of 240, 400 when executed from the rear. This is the ability you use alongside Sweet Tone to increase the damage taken to your target by 10%. Smokescreen. Creates a wall of smoke, reducing enemy generation of a single party member. I like putting this on our healers. Going into a boss fight, it helps reduce distress on the tank and the healer together. Shukuchi is up next. Now, this is more of a maneuverability ability. I like to use this up against Omega version 4, the big Shovel Knight looking guy. When he pops up as a big wooden log and he spits the purple death AoE, I use that. This is basically a maneuverability ability. Get used to it, it comes in handy. Okay, Shadewalker is another enemy generating or degenerating ability. Be careful when you use this one because it basically redirects an enemy, so be careful. Alright, Duality is one you use quite often. It doubles the number of strikes for a single target weapon skill. Combo bonuses and additional effects will only be applied once. Now you have to pair this along with your Trick Attack proc or your invulnerability on the boss. It does really nice damage. You tend to use it upon Aeolian Edge. Would be really nice to use this on. Okay, now we're going to go into the roll skills. We have True North, which is probably the one I use the most. It nullifies all action direction requirements for 15 seconds. This makes it easier to get your Trick Attack off on big bosses mid-fight, not opener. The openers tend to be really easy, so save this for going into your second Sweet Tone and Trick Attack combo. Diversion. Use this before every boss fight. It will save you some pain, I guess. This is what I wanted to use it. I use it every time. Get used to using it. It helps keep your enemy generation right below the tank, so you're not pulling aggro, because nobody wants that. And then I also like to use Second Wind, Lake Sweep, and Bloodbath. It just helps the overall group synergy. Bloodbath and Second Wind will grant you some HP, so you making mistakes aren't as detrimental to the healing of the group. So keep that in mind. But the roll options, roll skills are all up to you. But let's move on to the next. Alright guys, up next we have the openers. I have two I like to do. I have a delayed one where I delay Sweet Tone and the other one where I open up with Sweet Tone. And at the very end you're going to see what the min-maxers do on the interwebs. Alright guys, thank you for watching my Stormblood Ninja Guide. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't, please leave a comment down below why you didn't. And if anything I forget, leave it there as well. Thank you so much guys. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.